What is going on, everyone? Nico Lins here again, coming at you with an extremely exciting video because in front of me on my computer, I am staring at the preliminary, very high level conceptual site plans for Treasure Cay and what generally it's going to look like when GreenPointe Holdings is done with it. Extremely exciting stuff. I've had a chance to look through it quite a bit, and I think everyone's going to be very, very happy with everything that they're seeing. It's very exciting stuff. It's not too over the top, and so let's go ahead and get into it here in a second. But first, I do want to make a very, very clear disclaimer that this is extremely preliminary. It is extremely early on in the process. And so what you're seeing now is going to change. You know, buildings might be moved around. Concepts might be moved around. The finished product might look completely different and it might look pretty near the same. It just kind of depends on how the development progresses. As with all development, it's kind of fluid. Everything's changing. But as of now, this is kind of the conceptual plan for what these parts of Treasure Cay are going to look like. So as you're looking at this, just keep that in mind that this might change and probably will change in certain ways. And so let's go ahead and get into it. And really quick, before we get started, I do want to remind you guys to please subscribe to the channel if you like the kind of videos that I make, the boating, the fishing, the Bahamas, especially the Treasure Cay, you know, pertaining to this video. It helps me big time and it lets me know that you guys like the content that I make. I'm going to hopefully be making Treasure Cay updates through the entire duration of this project for the next several years or however long it takes to rebuild Treasure Cay. And so if you want to see that, please subscribe. Liking the video down below helps me as well. And then comment what you think of these plans. I'm really, really interested to hear y'all's input on what you think. I love the plans. I've looked at them extensively. I think y'all are going to love them. But comment down below your thoughts. But enough distractions, let's get into it. And so this plan, it's in the form of a slideshow basically. And so the first couple slides, it basically just goes into a little bit of the history of Treasure and all that, which I'm not going to spend time talking about because realistically, the reason you guys are watching this video is to see the actual plans themselves. And so I'm going to stop for like 2 to 3 seconds on each slide so that y'all can pause and read the slide if you really want to. And then I'm just going to stop on the important ones and go into all that stuff. So let's go ahead and get through the slide deck. Okay, so this is the first slide that I really want to spend a lot of time on, and before we get into this one, this is not the actual site plan right here. All this map is showing you is property ownership and what it is that Treasure Cay Limited owns. So everything that you see in that kind of yellowish, brownish, goldish color, that is all property that Treasure Cay Limited owns that is being included in the sale to GreenPointe Holdings and, you know, Ed Burr, the owner of GreenPointe Holdings. And so included in that property, as you can see on the right side of the page here, is the Marina, a 14-acre Cocoa Beach Bar parcel, a 10-acre Marina Village parcel, the 35-acre Clipper Cay parcel and fuel dock, which for those of you who don't know, Clipper Cay is the island that the fuel dock is located on, which in the original plans for Treasure was supposed to be developed. It just never was, hence why it's all overgrown. But that's all included in Treasure Cay Limited property. 13 canal lots, 16 Banyan Beach lots. Banyan Beach is the one that's down by Ocean Boulevard down there. You have a 25-acre multifamily parcel, a golf course, an industrial park, all other undeveloped and unzoned mangrove keys, interior golf lots, and lots on Treasure Cay Drive. And then the last one, all title deed rights held by Phase 1 property seller on property located on Treasure Cay. I have no clue what that last one means. I'll let y'all figure out what it means there. But pretty interesting to see what they all own here. You know, the white is just what the private homeowners own. The green is greenways, beach accesses, the golf course, stuff like that. An interesting one is you can see in this kind of bluish purple, these 6 properties right here that I'm circling with my mouse. Those are owned by the Ludwig Alfred Meister Trust. For those of you who don't know, the Meister family currently own Treasure Cay Limited and are selling it to GreenPointe Holdings. So I don't know if they're keeping those properties or if this was the ownership before. I don't know what it is. Just something that's interesting on the map. But enough of that. You can see what Treasure Cay Limited owns. So moving forward, here is this overarching conceptual site plan that I have. And so I'm going to get into the individual parts of it in a second on the next slides, because the next slides break it down a little bit further. But as a whole, it looks really, really awesome. And a couple of things I want to highlight on this one before we get into the next slides, which go into, deeper detail of the individual spots, is that you'll notice here in between the Marina Village property, which is the one that I'm circling with my mouse right now, and the Cocoa Beach Bar property, which is the one that I'm circling with my mouse right now, they're putting in a traffic circle, which, as you know, right now there's just a street that divides the two. And so it looks like from these drawings, I have no clue if the final project is going to have it or not, they're going to add a traffic circle, which I really, really like. It will help slow down traffic, which I think is needed. And then also, I'm not a landscape engineer, so I don't know if this is valid, but in my opinion, I think it's going to help really connect the two properties instead of kind of making them look separated, but just a road dividing the two. I think it'll really make it a lot more inviting and help connect the two properties a lot better. So that's really awesome to see. And the second thing is you'll notice the dock orientation. You can see that these docks now come out from this corner here where the Tipsy Seagull is. Before the storm, if you all saw the marina, in this area here that I'm circling with my mouse, there were two long docks which came from where my mouse is here out this way, and then another one next to it. So if you were staying on any of these docks and wanted to go over to the Tipsy, you had to walk down the dock over here, walk this way, and then back up. Now, instead, if you're docked in any of these slips, you just walk down the dock and boom, you're right in the heart of the Marina Village. So I think a far superior marina plan. I'm told that, from my sources, that this is going to change a little bit. They might move some slips around, but you get the general gist of what this is going to look like. So really exciting. Moving on to the next slide here. This is a little bit deeper dive into the Marina Village and what that is going to look like. The biggest thing is if you look at number 1 on the legend, what does that say? Tipsy's. The Tipsy Seagull is making a return in its own and its original location, which is super awesome. I hope it's still going to be outdoor and everything. I think it is going to be. It's the Bahamas. All bars are outdoors. But looking right here, it looks like they might reuse the original pool or make another one in that same shape, because as you guys can see in this rendering, the pool is the same shape. So that's pretty awesome. It looks like right here in place of where the old condos were, those colorful condos along the marina. This is 11 on the legend. It says condominium, so it looks like, according to this, condos are going to go back in that same place with a hotel behind it, 12. I do want to say a quick thing about that hotel is that, as you can see from the property ownership slide, Treasure Cay Limited owns a lot of property on Treasure Cay. And so in this rendering, it shows the hotel there. I personally wouldn't be surprised if the final product, the hotel, is somewhere else or looks a little bit different, just because, they do have the option to build a hotel on the beach. They own beachfront property. Oh, I guess, and Treasure Cay Limited owns beachfront property. So we'll see if the hotel actually ends up there. But, in this rendering, it shows a hotel right there. So that's pretty cool. Something that I really, really like to see is if you look at number 8, it looks like they're going to put a church on the property. And I'm a religious individual, so I like seeing that. You can see up here just on top of where, the Tipsy and, 5 and 4, which are the Dockmaster and Outfitters. 6 is going to be retail, so I assume there's going to be some stores in there. Who knows? Maybe, a bakery, some restaurant. Well, I guess the Tipsy is going to be the restaurant, so probably just stores. But it'll be a very, very welcomed addition to finally have some stores. Looking at up here in the top left, the 14, 15, 16, that's going to be gym and cabanas, spa, yoga. So that's going to be more so, I think, the kind of fitness center area. What's 13? Treasure Cay admin's going to be up there too. And so I think that's going to be like the spa kind of workout thing. I don't see a gym anywhere on here. Oh, yes, I do. 15. I'm blind. So yeah, that's definitely going to be the fitness and wellness center up there, which is kind of nice that that's going to be there. Doesn't have the best views, but you don't have to with the gym. Reserve the good view property for other things. But really, really cool. Look at 9. There's going to be some cottages right here, according to this. Again, this is very, very early on. These buildings might move around, might not be there at all. Still pretty interesting, though, to see that that's on the, that's at least on the radar, having some cottages on this Marina Village property. You know, before you just had the condominiums down here where 11 was. And so having a couple of the cottages up here would be nice. It will offer a little more, you know, living arrangements for people. So we'll see if that ends up happening. And so let's go ahead and move on to the next slide, which goes into a little bit deeper detail of the property where the Cocoa Beach Bar used to be. There's not a whole lot here, just a couple things to highlight. If you look at number 3, there's going to be a restaurant here, which before was the Cocoa Beach Bar. And as you'll see in a slide in a second, it appears like they want to bring the Cocoa Beach Bar back in some way, shape, and form. Obviously, it's going to look different, but I would imagine that's where that's going to be. 4, you have a shared kitchen, and then 5, there's going to be a beach club. So again, I imagine that's probably going to be something a little more high-end, you know, a little more private, high-end, maybe, you know, have your quiet cabanas type thing instead of, you know, the Cocoa Beach Bar where there's a bar and people, you know, music and all that stuff. You know, again, I don't know anything besides what I'm seeing here, so it's hard for me to speculate, but pretty cool to see all this. Again, number 2, you see some more cottages here. So apparently having some cottages on this beach property is on their mind, which is pretty interesting. So you can see that. I'm going to go back real quick to this slide here just to give you guys another look at the over the top look at how this is all going to look. I think it's going to be really awesome. I think it's going to, you know, I think it fits well. You know, I know a lot of people on Treasure were worried about it becoming overdeveloped and huge. And to me, this does not look like that whatsoever. So that is really, really exciting to see. You know, moving forward past what we saw, we get to the golf and racquet club concept. And so to let you guys know where this is. So as you're leaving or driving, I guess, from where the marina was down the main road toward the golf course, there's a road right before you get to the first green. That is this road right here that I'm circling. This number 2 with the golf club and pro shop, there is a building around that area right now. So at the very beginning of the golf course, there's a building. This is that general area right there to give you guys a little bit of how, you know, location-wise where everything's going to be. And so, you know, there's not a whole lot to this. You can see it, you know, 17, they're going to have a bunch of pickleball courts. 16, they're also going to have a bunch of paddle courts. You know, 15, 14, 19, these are all going to be tennis courts, which is really exciting. You know, it's going to open up Treasure Cay to events and a lot, you know, people who can come here and do tennis stuff, do tennis tournaments. So I love it. I think it's awesome. I know there's probably going to be some people who are upset about it because it's going to bring more people and they enjoy Treasure how it is. I want to remind everyone here that it is a ton of money to buy Treasure and redevelop it. They have to bring some more forms of income. And so stuff like this, I think, is awesome. Keeps everyone active, gives us all stuff to do. So really, really cool. And another thing, if you look down at number 11, they're putting in a range, a driving range, according to this. So that'd be really cool. That's something that Treasure Cay did not have before. 13, a putting green to practice your putting. All really, really cool stuff. And this stuff, I imagine, is going to be very high on the priority list because I know Ed and, you know, the Burrs are big-time golfers. And so I imagine this would be very high on the priority list. And as of right now, there are no public golf courses in the Abacos. You have Baker's Bay and you have Winding Bay, both of which you can't play if you're not a member. Very high-end courses. So I don't know, you know, anything about how this course is going to run. But if it is open to the public, that'll be pretty sweet. And I think we'll bring a whole lot of people to the island. And so moving forward to the next one, this is the residential offerings that, you know, a variety of single-family lots as well as multifamily residences are planned for Treasure Cay, projected to include, you know, 80 waterfront home sites, 120 golf course home sites, 105 interior home sites, 470 condo multifamily residences, and 2 potential hotel sites. And so that last bullet there, the 2 potential hotel sites, that's why I said earlier when it showed the hotel in the rendering, I wouldn't be surprised if that hotel moves somewhere else or isn't exactly like it shows there because, you know, Treasure Cay Limited does have options. They can kind of move stuff around as they see fit. Treasure Cay Limited owns a lot of property right now. And so these numbers, I don't know if this is all property that they plan to develop, part of Treasure Cay Limited, and then either sell it or lease it out. I don't really know the ins and outs of it. Pretty cool though. Moving on, you know, these are a little bit of the facilities and amenities, you know, the marina, the beach club, the golf club, the racquet club, the wellness retreat spa and fitness, restaurants, nature and outdoor activities. And so we're going to have a little bit more. You know, before the storm, we had the marina, We had restaurants. There was a golf course, but the golf club kind of wasn't existent anymore. You know, people who used to come way back in the day will remember there used to be a restaurant by the golf course. That was a while ago, though, and had long closed down before the storm. And so, you know, now we're going to actually have a beach club, an actual golf club, a racquet club, a wellness retreat, spa and fitness. And so, spa and fitness center. And so, yeah, I can't speak. Spa and fitness center. And so, looks like we're going to have more stuff to do, more amenities, which I don't think anyone on Treasure is really going to complain about. Moving on to the next slide, the Marina. This is where I'm excited about because I work in the boating world. I'm a yacht broker. I live and die for boats. And so, this is what I'm excited about. You know, and the biggest thing is if you look at the second to last bullet point here, floating docks with a capacity for an estimated 175 vessels. That's a really big marina. 175 boats by Bahamian standards is a very big marina. And the biggest thing is the floating docks. For any of you guys who have used floating docks before, you know that they are far superior to, you know, standard wooden docks. It makes tying up a whole lot easier, getting on and off the boat. You're not having to tie it for tides. So I really hope that happens. And I do know for a fact that GreenPointe Holdings has already hired people to work on the marina, and that's public information. It's on the website. They posted a whole thing about it. So really, really exciting. Not a whole lot, you know, more to talk about here. The beach club, again, I don't really know what the beach club is going to mean. You saw it in the renderings that it's going to be kind of next to the Cocoa Beach Bar on the other side of the shared kitchen. It says it's going to have exclusive access to private cabanas and lounges, each providing breathtaking views of the turquoise waters, beachfront dining that highlights island cuisine, blending local flavors and international dishes, a wide range of water sports activities, including snorkeling, paddleboarding, and kayaking, and then family-friendly amenities, including beachside and pool activities, as well as children's and teen programs. And so, you know, this doesn't go into too much detail. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if the beach club was just a little more high-end private area at the beach for people to get privacy, you know, if a couple's on a honeymoon or a date or whatever it might be. But then moving forward, a little bit about the golf course. And so if you know, Treasure Cay's golf course was actually designed by a very, very well-known golf course designer. I'm assuming it's Dick Wilson. I never knew his name because I'm not a golfer, but I've always known that. And so the golf's going to have a redesigned 18-hole championship golf course, originally designed by Dick Wilson, boasting full practice amenities. And that's the driving range and the putting green I just showed y'all. But interesting that they're going to redesign the golf course. Again, I know nothing about golf. I don't know if that means changing the layout, just fixing it up. No clue. I'll let golfers kind of cue in the comments what you think about that. So that's what it's going to have. Interesting here, clubhouse facilities with a golf shop and a club bar and grill. It'll be really awesome to have a bar and grill and another restaurant on the golf course. Like I said a second ago, back in the day, there was a restaurant on the golf course. It was a long time ago, and it had been shut down for a while. But it'll be really, really cool to get that back there. And so moving on a little bit further, the Racquet Club, not a whole lot more to read on the slide than y'all saw in that kind of rendering plan. The restaurants, according to this, we're going to have the Tipsy Seagull, the Cocoa Beach Club, and the Golf Club Bar and Grill. And so not overrun with restaurants, but that's honestly totally fine. It's more than we have now. You know, right now we have Treasure Sands, Sunset Pizza, Coops, Flows, and the Bahama Beach Club. And so we're still going to have all of those places. And then these three more, I think will be really, really awesome. You know, the only thing I hope reading this is, you know, before you have the Spinnaker, which was a little bit more high-end if you wanted to put a collared shirt on and go get a more fancy meal. I hope there is a little bit higher end of a dining option, you know, for date nights or just, you know, family get-togethers or whatever it might be. Again, this is very, very early stage. Things might change. They might add more restaurants. They might take more away. We'll find out. And then moving forward, here's a little more information about the wellness retreat, the spa and fitness. Pretty straightforward, I think. A gym, yoga classes, spa, you know, massages, the whole 9 yards. Not a whole lot to talk about there. Outdoor activities, which is the main driver, I think, why all of us, me, y'all watching this video, come to the Bahamas and Treasure Cay, is the boating, the beaches, the fishing, the beach combing, the clear water, the white sand, the sea turtles, the dolphin, all that stuff. So what you're seeing here is nothing that you don't already know about. You know, like I said, I think this deck was meant to kind of judge investor interest, so they have to highlight all of these positives of Treasure Cay. And so that's about it. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think about these plans. I absolutely love them. Again, I want to reiterate, very, very preliminary, very early stage. These are not set in stone. The chances that things are going to look different from these to what you see down the road are pretty high. Like I said, GreenPointe still doesn't even own Treasure Cay Limited. And so really, really exciting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I'm the first to break the information because I think that'd be pretty cool. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel because I'm going to follow the Treasure Cay rebuild through the entire process. This video is just the start. So without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next video.